Hello viewers, Super GT here, welcome back to another video. Now this one was a really interesting race on the whole, and a series of blunders and mistakes were made. Now that is something you can look out for in the video, try and spot all of the silly errors that I made. First one here actually, is that you have free choice of tyres. You can see a lot of people going out on the soft tyre, which makes sense in qualifying. You want to have the fastest time possible, which is, I suppose, the idea of qualifying. And I went out on the medium, so eventually I came in for the soft, and I completely misjudged the lap that I should have come in, because as I come here to set my first flying lap, I've only got 2 minutes left, and the lap is about 2 minutes 40. So I ran out of time, and I didn't set a lap time. So that was obviously a very big error. So I'm not even on the top 14 of the board. And well, we're going to have a quick look here at the back of the grid, which is where I am. I wasn't alone because Afro Fuzz here also didn't set a time. And then there's me, Bottlejob number 1, and then Bottlejob number 2, Sebastian Vettel. Oh Sebastian, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Then again, what am I doing? Hopefully myself and Sebastian Vettel and Afro Fuzz can try to make our way up the order. Let's see what the three of us can achieve, I suppose. So that was a big error. And of course the second error I've made is that I'm now starting the race on the soft tyre, because that's what I finished qualifying with, and I forgot to change it. So I'm kind of getting caught off guard with this new season, because there's so many different little intricacies with it that I'm kind of forgetting to change things. It was easy in the older seasons where you just turn up and race, and here it's a little bit different. There's more free reign on certain settings. But we'll do our best to try to make our way through the order. So Afro Fuzz here just ahead of us, trying to make our way through, both in the Porsche Cayman. Cayman a really good handling car, and this kind of track should really suit that. Lots of long twisty corners around here. Down into the hairpin, Subaru going up the inside of the Aston Martin. Looks like someone's gone very wide there. Jester in the BMW, we're going to gain a position. We've already gained on Afro Fuzz, who initially did seem to gain over the Aston Martin, who's now 2 positions ahead. So things going back and forth quite quickly on lap 1. This is the beauty of this game. You see just how close it is. So pretty much the entire pack here is separated by 6 seconds. That's 20 people within 6 seconds, most of the way around lap 1. So that's good so far. Looking up the inside of the German on the way out, it's not quite going to happen for me. Do slightly get a better run on the way out, but I'm kind of hemmed in here by the Aston Martin ahead. It can be hard to go up the inside or look for a move. The Subaru does look for that move. I'm going to look for the cutback, and it's on, and we've got the job done. So gaining 2 positions, going in deep and then cutting back. Looked like they kind of went in a little bit too far into that turn. So we're going to slowly make our way through the order. I do have the tyre advantage. I've got the softer tyre, and I think not everyone is going to be on that tyre. A lot of people are going to be on the medium, which is probably the better race tyre, if we're honest. But, well, I'm just going to try to make the most of what I've got. I can't really change the setting now. The only thing I can do, of course, is go into the pit lane and surrender all my positions. But for now, we might as well make the most of the grip. 7 laps on offer, quite a long lap here, so nearly 3 minutes in total, the lap time. The Mercedes getting a big moment on the exit of the final turn. The Renault Megane going to be slow off the turn as a result, and that's bad for him because the Megane has basically 0 top end speed. So up into 14th. At the end of lap 1, I suppose that is not too bad a return, starting 19th up into 14th. Looking up the inside of the Subaru, or trying to go up the inside, trying to follow the Subaru through, but the Mercedes actually takes a good defensive line by going around the outside, and it kind of prevents me from following the Subaru through. So just trying to slot in here without making contact, very close to making contact. I think I judged that just about right. Covering the left hand side to make the guy behind think twice about going up the inside. I'm going to look up the inside of the Subaru, kind of just forcing me a tiny bit narrow. Strong racing here, but just about on the limit, and good racing actually. So going to look to the right hand side. It's actually Moses, so hopefully I can just follow him through, and he'll just use the Moses effect and just part everyone like the sea, or I'll just push him wide. It's a bit of a clumsy move. I wasn't quite there kind of have to back out, let them go back ahead. So we're going to continue in 14th. No real success so far on this lap, but you see again just look how close the pack is up ahead. It's pretty much nose to tail, well inside the top 10, way back to myself here. So there's still chance of success here, even from 19th on the grid. And of course, let's not forget that my ratings are a lot lower than they were before. I'm no longer A+. I'm just an A hole now, not an A+ hole. So the quality of driver isn't going to be quite as high. But you see here, actually, rather pleased with how it's gone so far, and how good everyone actually is, how fair everyone has been. Well, that was a bit strong on the way out. Moses using the Moses effect just to part me away to the side. But we're going to continue. No real worry at the moment. The race still got 5 laps left to go. We're not going to get too impatient at this moment. The Mercedes up ahead you might have just spotted going way too deep into that turn. The Russian here can have a really bad corner as a result, going to lose plenty of positions. So the Mercedes really fighting his way through aggressively, but he doesn't actually have a penalty somehow after that. And the Subaru kind of swerving across, wasn't sure which way he's going to go. I'm up the inside, so this lap not as successful, gaining 2 positions, but that is still good. That's still a decent return. So we're making steady progress up the order. So the Frenchman goes into the pits, the Mercedes goes in. He had medium tyres, at least that's what it says. And just carving off that Subaru, just worrying about the top end advantage of the other cars, because the Cayman, very good for handling, not the best in terms of straight line speed. So you do have to be wary going into the corners at the end of the long straights. So just having a quick look behind the Subaru, not quite able to go for the move. So up behind the Nissan, it's a big car that, and he's trying to find his way, trying to sort of shimmy his way through. I'm going to go just against the wall. Really close move, up gaining 2 positions. I chose the correct side and got the momentum timed to perfection just to go through. And let's be fair to that guy, he didn't sort of run me wide. He gave me a car width, and I just took it. So fair play to him there, kind of give me the space as I was alongside him. Into the hairpin, maybe a little bit too deep. Very easy to do that if you're not that good, which I'm not. And plenty of guys behind. See how close that battling is behind, and that's what you want to escape. So if I make a mistake now, I'm back into that pack, and I'm just going to get swallowed up, and we're just going to lose so much time. So this lap here, or this moment here, is just so crucial, just to pull away, make sure I have a solid couple of sectors, couple of corners, just to make sure that I'm not going to get sucked back into that group and have a orgy of destruction. So just pulling away through this kind of corner, this is really where this car excels, through these long corners, and there's plenty of them around here. And again, just looking forward, scanning forward to that group. Really big group here, 6-7 cars battling very close. So I suppose this lap here is really just one to bridge that gap. This kind of happens in many races. So lap 1 was really close, most of the pack was nose to tail, but it only really takes a couple of guys in the middle of the pack to start fighting very strongly, and then a gap will just form. And this is the reason why I really don't like to fight too much on lap 1. Of course you want to make up positions, but don't fight to the point where you create a massive gap, because it might be impossible to regain that gap depending on how good the other drivers are. At this point here, looks like I am slowly bridging the gap. So I am pulling onto the back of these guys. I should be with the softer tyre, presuming that they're on the harder, on the medium. And exiting the final turn, who is going to dive left into the pit lane? Plenty of drivers are, about 1, 2, 3, 4. It looked like some of them were on the soft, some of them on the medium. So we go up into 5th at this point here. 4 laps left to go, nearly at the halfway mark. Things are going well so far. I'm up into 5th. This is a decent return so far. We've had people going to the pit lane, so we can't quite judge exactly how this is going to go. Is it possible to do a 0 stop here? Maybe not on the soft tyre. I think that might be asking too much, because we're about halfway into the race now, and just have a look at that front right. It is pretty much about 40% worn. So if we continue at this rate, it's gonna basically have almost no grip left at the end. And it's these long left-handers which really murder that front right tyre. And there's three of those long left-handers around this track, and they seem to go on forever. And that front right is absolutely hating it. Looking at the inside of the Lexus, not quite there. Just back out. Two Lexuses here, and then we have a Ferrari up in second. So second place looks on here. First place is has gapped us. He's about 5 seconds ahead of second place there. But second place is definitely on. It's just really a matter of trying to manage these tyres from here to the end. Do we manage the tyres, or do we go for the pits for that pit stop and get on some new tyres instead? Fuel looks okay. We are about halfway into the race. We've easily got more than half of our fuel left, so I think fuel is no worry. We can just rev out every gear if we want. Looking up the inside, it's going to be a risky move. It wasn't a good move at all. I've pushed him wide. I'm going to have to let that position go back to him, I think. So I'm going to sort of deliberately take quite a wide line here, and his speed advantage is going to carry him back. So not a great move. I was trying to defend from the other Lexus, but just ran way too deep into the turn. And is the Lexus going to go up the inside? Yes, he is. I'm going to try to force it around the outside. That's good racing there. We're both going over each other in the room, and no contact involved. So just about getting around the outside, keeping fourth. The Ferrari, as a result of all this carnage, this is exactly what I was just saying just now, fighting too much, and you see how much of that gap has opened up to the Ferrari. We were right on his tail, but now he's opened up maybe a second or two. So coming through the final turn, leader goes into the pits, soft tyres, and these two are going to go into the pits, and I make what could be a good decision, what could be a very bad decision. We're going to see in about a lap's time. I'm going to skip the pit lane and continue. Actually, the leader, this is the thing that I didn't really know. You see the leader there, he was only about 8 seconds ahead of me, and he's come out ahead. He's only lost about 6 seconds in his pit stop. It just shows you how little time you lose by actually taking a pit stop. You go in, you're pretty much at your pit bay already, and then you appear at the other end of the pit lane. You really don't lose too much time. And you can see here, just looking behind, the McLaren is actually going to very quickly gain on us. He was over 2 seconds behind at the start of the lap. Now it's about 1 second. So we're going to begin to see the car struggling, even through this kind of long corner where this car is traditionally very good, and actually getting a penalty there, just running slightly beyond the white line, getting 1.3 second worth of penalty. So that's obviously not ideal. This lap potentially is where the race could unravel. Firstly, by making the wrong decision to not pit, and then of course by making an error there, getting a penalty. So we have a very fast looking McLaren up behind us. He's actually punting us through these corners. Such is the lack of grip I have. He really does want to get a move on, but I quite simply I don't have the grip to do it. So coming through these corners, I'm doing my best to go around them as fast as I can, but the McLaren clearly with a grip advantage. I'm semi-defending my position. I don't want to lose too much time, but it looks like I am going to have to pit at the end of this lap and really just admit that I was wrong to not go in at the end of the previous lap, and well, just take the pit stop now. There are so many cars right behind me, and I am going to lose a fair chunk of positions. Currently third, may well go down to about 10th, but I will have a really good grip advantage for the final 2 laps. I could, if I was really brave, stick it out for 2 more laps, but at this rate here I think I'm going to be a sitting duck, and everyone's going to just stream past me, and that is absolutely going to be no fun at all. You see, it's just a lack of grip. As we try to trail brake in, the car just does not want to know at all. So, and again, you can see how much the leader's actually pulled away on this lap, but we were pretty much right behind him, and we've lost about 3-4 seconds just on this lap alone. So I think at this rate it's going to be a stupid idea to stay out on the track. I'm just going to have to admit that I was wrong and take the pit stop, take the hit now, and then have an exciting final 2 laps trying to recover as many positions as possible. So here we go, you can see just how close that train is, really close indeed. Afrofuzz follows me in, and we're going to change tyre to the softer tyre. I think we don't really need to use the medium. It's only 2 laps, we might as well just go all out here, onto the soft tyre, 2 laps left to go, down to 11th, but still on the map. The pack is very close up ahead. So here we go then, 2 laps left to go. We've committed so many mistakes so far, to qualify wrong, to start the race on the wrong tyre, to not go into the pits at the right moment, and maybe to get that penalty on the previous lap. So plenty of mistakes being made. You see just how close it is up ahead, really close battling. And this is the thing about Group 4, it can be very close indeed. And this is the beauty, I suppose, of Gran Turismo Sport with the balance of performance. It does make the racing very close indeed. Yellow flags, who is this? German off on the left hand side, one position gained. I think he actually disappeared there. Did he rage quit? I don't know. Up the inside of the Aston Martin, and he leaves him plenty of space. I was expecting him to turn in and for there to be contact, but it didn't happen. He left me the space. So up to 9th, and you can see here this group is here for the taking. I could definitely gain plenty of positions here with the grip advantage, and this car is really good around here, especially when it has tons of grip. So I've got fresher tyres compared to all these guys. I've got technically the faster car and hopefully more talent, although that is to be confirmed. So let's come around here. You see just how much better grip this car has. The Alexa's struggling wide, and I'm just easily able to sail by on the way out up into 8th, and the group here really fighting very hard. They're going 2 abreast through this corner, and it's not going to be very pretty at all. Audi at the front of the group, 2 Lexus in there, a Ferrari too. How can we go about gaining some positions as we then come around into the hairpin? So this is a crucial corner, big gap behind. Lexus up the inside, not a clean move at all. Spears off 2 people. I've gained 2. I've gained 3 positions on that corner. Wow, that was not a tidy move at all. Gaining 6.5 seconds worth of penalty. Did ESC Pock there. running himself really narrow, going too deep on the brakes, causing 2 cars to go very wide. And as a result, I'm up into 5th. So perhaps it was the right decision to go into the pit lane. We can definitely recover those positions. And having a look at the group ahead, I think there's potential for more here. We have a Russian ahead of us. Can we go about beating him? He's gone defensive. He knows that there's only 1 lap remaining. So slipstreaming him quite hard into the first corner. And I'm looking up the inside, try to dummy him. And it wasn't a clean move. So again, having to back out. I'm just going to let him kind of recover around the outside. I don't think that was a kind of a fair way to go for the pass. Or it was a fair way to try. But the way that it transpired, I did kind of shove him a little bit wide. So I'm going to have to go again here. Perhaps there was a chance, there was an opportunity of gaining another position. I think the guy in 3rd there, the German, does have a penalty. What does he have? Oh, just 1.5. About the same as me. So we do genuinely need to catch up with him. The Russian here is 1.6. So at the moment it's pretty much neck and neck with the top. Well, between 3rd, 4th and 5th here. We all have a fairly similar penalty, and trying to cut back the Russian here on the hairpin, not quite going to happen. Can we do it for the second hairpin, taking the wider line in to potentially get a better exit? Not quite. And I was hoping to get the ghostly overtake there. He kind of ghosted out for a split second. I was hoping if you can get your car inside the other car, you can just kind of drive through them and just overtake them that way, which is basically a free overtake. You just have 0 time loss if you do that. Didn't quite transpire though, going into the back of him, giving him a boost on the way out. So the McLaren up ahead, I'm eagerly looking at that battle whilst managing this battle as well. The Russian really strongly defending on this lap. The Brit in the McLaren actually serving his penalty. That might be a clever decision, we shall see. The German in 2nd now, 1.5 seconds worth of penalty to deal with. I'm still looking up the inside of this Russian. He's been really good at defending on this lap. And he's really making it hard work for me. He's gonna run narrow into this hairpin. So going deep, I'm gonna look for the cutback on the way out. There it is. Switch the old switcheroo. Job done. Up into 4th, and the McLaren just ahead of us. Can we get past him? I do have to serve this penalty though. That is the big worry here. Coming into this turn, he actually takes a really poor exit, and I'm going to get a better run on the way out. Up into 3rd, into the final corner. And the German now has a 2.2 second worth of penalty, so that actually means I could overhaul him coming up to the line. So sitting in 3rd here, 2nd possible. Let's see if I can do it. I do need to time this perfectly because the guy behind is very close with no penalty to serve. Coming up to the line, and I just about get it wrong. I did overtake the German, but the McLaren behind did get back past me. I think it was possible to get 2nd there if I had done it exactly right. It did need to be within a couple of attempts accurate. It was very difficult to get it exactly right, but I just kind of misjudged that on the line. So perhaps another mistake there. But on the whole, finishing 3rd, the leader was very quick. Perhaps that the win might not have been possible, but 2nd was definitely possible. But that was a really fun race, and a couple of mistakes made, but I suppose you just learn from them. I should have pitted, I should have got the right pit strategy, I should have got the right qualifying strategy. Ultimately, a really enjoyable race, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Let me know your thoughts as always. If you did enjoy, hit the like button, and subscribe for more if you're new to the channel. Thank you very much for the support as always, guys. I shall see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Listen.